AquaStarGoddess. If you are new here, definitely subscribe. Hit the bell so you can get notifications when I upload new videos, and smash the like button. So you're probably wondering, what the hell are you doing here at this hour? Well, ever since the other day, my sleep schedule has been fucked up. My sleep schedule's been fucked off ever since, since the other day when I was live all fucking night until like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's fucking ridiculous. But I also noticed on that video that there were some questions, unanswered questions. Look at that, 5:55 a.m. It is 5:55 a.m. So the other day on the live video, we kind of got into talking a little bit about, you know, some of the journey, you know, the spiritual journey, the process, and some of the things that go on and occur within the journey. So whenever I don't exactly have the straight answers, a resource or a video or some other creator may come across my screen where they do explain kind of what I'm feeling and gathering, and they explain it pretty well. So just last night, I was, after I got off of the live, I found this other content creator who created this video about the process that you go through, like if you're a twin flame or whatever, and how, you know, she really was mainly focusing on how at some point you come into this space where you're like kind of like self-aligned, and it's all mostly about your vibrations. And this is so interesting that this is something that I've really been talking about for a very long time, is your vibrations, vibrations, vibrations. Like I've been kind of saying that, but it's been for multiple reasons. You know, it's been for reasons such as like making sure that you yourself are able to either manifest or materialize the things that you desire, so that you yourself can even protect yourself, all the way down to like protecting yourself from magical workings or just various different things. But I never really applied it to the journey and that process that happens. And I have made that shift. So like, and you know, it was probably because like it needed to happen, first of all. Like, you know, as it relates to this process, it'd be like, I was thinking I was ready to have this conversation, and I still don't think I am. I keep a lot close. I don't speak a lot about my journey, like openly anyway. I don't speak a lot about the whole process, what I've experienced, what I felt. I don't know. I don't know if it's because of, you know, out of respect for certain, you know, things going on in my relationship, or if it's because deep down, like those are still things that I myself am still figuring out, you know, which I think for a long time it was that. For a long time I didn't talk about this process or anything because I really was unsure, uncertain, really trying to figure this whole thing out, and really not aware of what I should be doing, shouldn't be doing, what's going to happen, how I'm going to feel, and how to respond to the various different things. So as it relates to the journey, I literally was winging it the whole time. Like I was just figuring it out and going with the flow and just trying to see what happens. Now, I was on this video that I made the other day, and somebody asked, how did you know? Hold on, let me see what the question was asked. How did you know he was your twin? Well, it's almost impossible to miss. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and listen, we can call it whatever we want to. We can call it a twin flame. We can call it a a soul connection. We can call it whatever the hell we want to, but it's just almost impossible to miss. So that, I think, is one of the I think many people have to answer these questions on their own, only because I could sit here and I can explain to you how it and what had happened for me. But I feel like I have explained it maybe on another video. I think I've explained it before on another video, but right now, I feel like that's kind of private for myself. And the reason why I may keep it like that is because unless you saw that previous video, which you can obviously go find it and check it out, but unless you saw that previous video, you don't really know, like, right? And I think one of the reasons also maybe why I never really fully gotten to the point to really sharing my experience with this whole thing fully, or just as it, like, I'm not sharing it like on a track by track, like you're not getting an update on that journey. You guys aren't getting constant updates on that journey, and the reason for that, I believe, is because I'd like to have a level of privacy with it, because it is something that is very it's new. It's a new type of experience, a type of experience that I don't think that I was ever really even like consciously prepared for or consciously aware could even occur. I thought you get married and you have your kids and y'all just live y'all's life, you know what I mean? And no, I never knew anything about all this extra shit coming into it. You know what I mean? All this extra shit, and all this extra shit. That's really how I feel about it. Right? As it relates to like how it all came about, because I was not aware that these things were even a thing. Anyway, when I started to kind of like when I met my twin though, that's how I knew. When I met them, I knew something was weird, something was off, or something was different. It was different. I won't say off, it was different. And I was like, what the fuck was that? I ran. I immediately was like, this ain't it. This is trouble. That is trouble. I was like, that right there is a ball of trouble for you. Walk away. And so I did exactly that. I walked away. Now, over the years, things maybe have changed or whatever. And the various different things that have been experienced have really just been, I feel honestly, because I think we tend to like focus on the romanticism of it all, right? Like we tend as a collective tend to focus on the romanticism of it all. But there's some romanticism to it, but all overall, it's not all very romantic at all. Actually, it's very eye-opening to life. Like, it's kind of eye-opening to life and the process of life and how you deal with things. And I won't say that I dealt with this process or this journey all 100% absolutely correct, because who's to know what that is. Nobody ever, I didn't get no guidebook is what I'm trying to say. I didn't get no handbook on this mission here, right? So somebody asked me, how did you know, he was your twin? And only thing I could say is it's unmistakable. There's no way that you will not be able to know that there's something different about this person, or something that challenges your current beliefs of everything that you know. It's unmistakable. Okay. And so I'm not going to give you an exact explanation on, how my, initial meeting went down or anything like that, because I feel like I've explained that before. And also, there's no need for me to like break it down like that. But I will just say that it is unmistakable. It is something that you will not be able to mistake. You cannot mistake it. And that's why I think it's a little interesting when people come up with all these little extra things. Oh, it's the false flames and bullshit like that. Because in reality, we can call it what you want. Let's just pull the terminologies out of it. Let's pull twin flame out of it. Let's pull soulmate connection. Let's pull all this shit out of it. Let's pull soul tie out of it. It's unfucking mistakable regardless. Like, it doesn't matter how you put it. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's unfucking mistakable. Okay. And then also another thing is just that I may have responded very different. I responded very differently to this person than I responded to anybody else in my life, right? Any masculine or any male person in my life, I responded very differently to this person than I responded to others. So Yeah, I would say that's true. Oh, girl, I mean, I keep calling girl. It's no biggie. It's no biggie. I'm just, so yeah, so this person had asked that, and I just kind of wanted to come in and kind of address and look around and see if there are any other questions. There are some questions that I believe were present that were not asked, and I think I'm gonna answer those too. So this person did ask about, the whole thing about, how did you know? Only thing I'm going to say with that, I'm not even going to explain how it went down or the meeting or any of that. I'm just going to say it's unmistakable. You cannot mistake it. You cannot mistake it. So that should be enough. You know what I mean? If you have that experience, it's unmistakable. There's nothing that I don't even need to say anything. If you've had the experience, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's unmistakable. And that to me is enough. I don't really want to go into detail because, like I said, just out of respect for just my current situation, it's like I want to be able to help those of you who maybe are going through this experience or you want to know more or whatever. But I also want to maintain a level of privacy within my personal journey. And also, I do want to, kind of out of respect for my current dynamic as well, I won't be going into too many details, but I will just kind of give general basic answers here. So another thing that I was talking about, one of the things I was talking about in a video that I created the other day was that like I did a cord cutting ritual on my my situation. Hey, I think you wanted to a little read, but my ass went straight to bed. Oh, I get it. You got to get that rest when you got to get that rest, um so like, okay, so like, and I think first off, the last time that I did any like cord cuttings or anything on this connection was about a year or so ago. About a year ago, not a year or so, about a year ago, right? And this happened because, was it a year ago? It may have been less than a year ago. It may have been less than a year ago, honestly, because yeah, I believe it was less than a year ago, but I'm not gonna, pinpoint the time period. I will just say that, within the last year. And at that point, I felt that was necessary in order for me, because what really happens is I was the one that was receiving a lot of the intensity of the connection for a very long time. I was the one receiving all the intensity, right? So that means that it's coming to me. And some things that I did learn and did eventually find out was that, so, and this is something that I believe is a part of the journey and something that we have been learning, is that there is a level of communication without actually physically communicating that has been going on for quite some time. And so I ended up learning that in the natal chart, there is a placement in his natal chart that allows him to do certain things, that allows him to like basically manifest people basically with ease, with very, very much with ease, right? And so this is one of the reasons why I have had like previous conversations with him where he was just like uncertain about how certain things are happening. Is because of that placement in your chart. Is because of that Pisces in your chart, right? By the way. But so anyway, so what he tends to do is exactly that. Okay. So it always gives him a level of plausible deniability, though. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, especially when he is like maybe thinking about me or something like that or whatever, I may reach out or just say, hey, how's it going? Just checking on you, making sure you're good, blah, 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 right? In the very beginning, it would happen so much that I would just be like overwhelmed with the energy and I would just like have to call and reach out. And it slowed down over the years because I was like really trying my best to control it. I was doing what I could do. Like I was like fucking saging the shit out of myself, taking spiritual baths like every fucking goddamn day, twice a day sometimes. So I was just kind of like doing all that I could do to just like not feel controlled, because I think that's ultimately what it all comes down to. Is I feel like there was an intent to just control things. And I don't like that. Like I don't like that. I'm going to choose what I want to choose. I'm going to do what I want to do. And you know, if I feel like you are trying or attempting to control me, then ultimately I'm going to do the opposite. So that's that's a good deal of what really has been going on between this situation, because um I believe that this person just has a sense of just a way of wanting to kind of like control the narrative or control how things go on. You know, I'm not complaining that that is maybe potentially a good characteristics for somebody who, you know, you have your family and all that stuff like that, but considering the dynamic, I feel like there should just be a little bit more respect about that, you know? So, anyway, moving forward, the last video I was making, I was talking about how I basically, when I talked about throwing the name on the full moon of every full moon, you have the opportunity to release things. And what you do is you write down the things that you want to release and then you put it in the fire. That's a release process. The putting of the paper or whatever, the names or the things that you need to release in the fire is symbolic for, you know, it's like a symbolic release. And so when you put it on fire, that is you literally kind of the symbolic act of releasing something. And so I've had that process, done that process many times. And like I said, within the last year, I did a cord cutting ritual. And before that, I had previously done, like some years before that, I had done other cord cutting rituals as well. And I will say that anytime I've done a cord cutting ritual, usually for a good while, like I get no energy for a good while. I was getting no energy, no energetic like interference with, you know, desiring to reach out or anything like that, or just no thoughts, just like I felt free during these times, right? But there was a time where I really felt very much unable to like operate and like keep up with the things that I needed to keep up with. My focus was completely off, and it was becoming a problem for me, honestly. So it was really honestly becoming annoying to me because I felt frustrated that it was the energy was so intense and kind of like moving into my life when I didn't say you could move in my house, bitch. That's how I was feeling, right? Like, oh, I didn't say you could move in. Like, take your bags back where they belong, okay? But that's how I was feeling about it, right? And so, but all at the same time, I was still connected to the energy, still connecting with the energy. So I don't want to pretend like I'm not trying to say that I didn't have some level of enjoyment with it, but like I said, after feeling the intensity for so long, you know, it was just like, okay, this is ridiculous. Like this something's got to give. So, you know, at some point I started to play around with, okay, maybe I need to do some releasing. And, you know, would start doing releases, and then I would start trying to do the cord cutting ritual. Now, the first couple times I did the cord cutting ritual, it was pretty trash. Like, I just think I just could have done it better. Right. Um, one of the first, probably the third time that I did a cord cutting ritual, I believe that was really, it was solid, you know, it was a solid ritual. And then I didn't feel a lot of energy from this person after that for a while. Now, the reason why I even did those things was because, like I said, the energy was so intense that it was literally keeping me from being able to do the things I needed to do in my life on a day to day. So I was trying my best to get this energy off my back. Okay. Like, bitch, I want to breathe. Okay. Like, come on now. And so, like, this is why, you know, sometimes, and this is another thing, like when you really are on this journey, you can tell when other people are on some bullshit. You can just tell when they bullshit because, you know, although there's some level of romanticism to this type of situation, it's not fully romanticized at all. It's not a romantic ass thing because it well, depends on who you are, like how you are, because I'm an Aquarius. Okay. I don't want, you know, like I need my space. Okay. And when I feel energetically strapped, and that's how I was feeling, energetically strapped, I need my space. Like, this is too much. And then there's other elements of the thing where there were very karmic patterns and pathways occurring throughout this whole process. So, you know, it's like a layered situation. It's like layered like a fucking onion. It's layered like a goddamn cake, right? And it just has so many elements and so many like layers and piles of it that for me, when I really did start feeling relief from the intensity of the energy and the connection, I was so relieved. It was a relief. Like, I felt great. I was like, great. I was like, I can go do life. And I started to do, do things that I wanted to do. And so, and then from time to time, I may, tap in and reach out and say, hey, how's it going? Just to say, hey, how's it going? For me, it never really was a thing of trying to, um, it was never a thing of trying to make something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was more just, hey, how's it going, in that way. But there has always been that element of that intensity and of that energy present. And I've always been curious. I believe I was just really curious about it and very curious to understand, why is this happening? What's going on? So naturally out of curiosity, you would reach out to this person and try to gain some understanding. Like, why is this the case? What is this? Is there something going on here? But I don't ever really feel like, I won't say that. I will just say that naturally, when you have these types of intense things going on with you, you want to gain understanding. And I am that person that definitely wants to gain understanding about any and everything on hell on, okay? And so it's always been very much curiosity, trying to find out what the hell is going on, but I also notice a lot of like toxic patterns. I notice toxic communication patterns. I notice toxic behaviorisms. I noticed a lot of uh, deflecting and a lot of blame shifting, and just I noticed a lot of patterns or behavioral patterns that really made it difficult for me to like see anything long term. That never happened. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that never happened, because like those characteristics, they are some strong characteristics. You know what I'm saying? Like, those right there need to be worked out. Okay. But it's still, like I said, it was more like, okay, well, I can always be friends with somebody. I can always maintain a friendship here, just to gain some understanding and to be able to learn what this whole thing is. And so that kind of was where I was at for a good little while, right? So what else is there to know? Did the cord cutting rituals work? Well, like I said, the first maybe two, it was like, girl, you could just not like, you on some bullshit with this shit. This shit was not gonna work. But then the third one definitely did give me some relief from the energy, from the energetic pull of the connection or of the thing that was going on. And anytime that I needed to do one after that, like if I felt the intensity coming back like really, really strong, then I would be like, nope, not doing it. So so and you know what? That was more so that was also because of those behavioral patterns. You know what I mean? It was those behavioral patterns the whole time that I was just like, can't do it. And I feel like, there's a lot of charisma there. There's a lot of great qualities, but the qualities that stick out were the ones that is better off being friends. You know what I mean? Like, this, we're better as friends type vibe, right? But at the same time, like I said, like, this person was always, chill. Like, it was a chill person and all that. Like, I didn't have, too many issues about it. But like I said, as it relates to having an actual romantic relationship, there were behaviors there that I saw that just, for me, they just weren't, those weren't the types of relationship behaviors that I would be interested in, because they were borderline, you know what I mean? And you setting yourself up for failure if you're going into this shit knowing what the hell you expecting, right? So it was always very easy for me in those ways, but the feelings of it all made it difficult for me not to kind of mix pathways sometimes. And so that was one of the reasons why I would go and do like a cord cutting ritual or something like that, to cut the energy, or to sever intense feelings, right? But I want to tell you that, you know, if you have this type of connection, it can work. Like it can keep you away from each other or whatever, or keep you guys separated and all this stuff. And not to mention all of the karmic bullshit that's in between, all of the energetic shit that be going on between whomever, energies that are around surrounding, you know, the two parties and everything. But then there's this, like, for example, when about a month or two ago, somebody came and removed whatever the fuck they put in my yard, right? Immediately, matter of fact, before it was removed, I had a dream. After it was removed, it was like obviously what was put there, there was something there to put like somebody put the situation on ice or something like that. That's basically what it was, something like that, to keep us from contacting each other. But the reality was that as soon as that went away, thoughts came back. You know what I mean? The thoughts came back. But so it can work, you know what I mean? And it can work for a level of time. But also it's important to know that as it's so many things that I would really like to say, but it's all kind of jumbled right now. One of the things that I do want to say though is that as long as there's magic going on, the energies are still tied. As long as there is a non-natural way of this connection just dissipating or whatever, which I don't even know. I don't know if the possibility of that. I don't really know. I do know that over time I have gotten more, a lot let the vibes have been so less intensified over time, but it took a long ass time. Okay, it took so long that I was starting to get pissed off. I started to do fucking cord cutting rituals. Right? Like I was getting mad because I'm like, this is stupid. Like this is dumb. Like, you know, there's no reason for me to be having these intense ass feelings if this is nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's just stupid. To me, it started to feel real dumb. Um, so like I said, you know, in those times when I would feel frustrated, I would do a cord cutting ritual or something like that because I felt like maybe if I do it enough times, then maybe, you know, it'll work. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe it just took a long ass time to actually work. I don't know. But what I do know, um, is that, you know, a message that I recently got is that as long as there's magical stuff going on, the energies are still, there's still some sort of tie there and some sort of connection there. And then I mean ultimately it's a journey. It's going to be a tie and a connection there anyway. But the work that has to be done in order for the intensity to die down is an internal thing. It doesn't have anything to do with some girl going and trying to, you know, keep us apart, or, you know, or my husband trying to keep us apart and say you're never going to talk to this person again. You know, all that is cute. That's how I feel about it. All that is real cute. But, you know, let's just be honest here, okay? And so it's more about me individually, him individually, learning how to work and operate the energy. And once we learn how to operate the energy, then I believe that there's a lot more control over, you know, how things are being felt. So I personally have come to a space where, like I said, I'll say, hey, how's it going? And reach out or whatever. Because to me, it's not like if you feel like you have a care or a friend, or you got a friend, somebody got a friend, you care about them, you call them, you check on them, make sure they're still fucking alive. You didn't kill yourself, did you? You know, shit like that. But I have kind of gotten to a point over the time where I've gotten a lot better than when in the beginning it was so intense. Like it was ridiculous. It was so intense that I really started to feel controlled. I started to feel uncomfortable. I could not complete my activities. Like I couldn't do the things that I needed to take care of or the things that I needed to do. So it became very much a problem for me. It was a hindrance to what I needed to do in my day to day. And so I really worked as hard as I could to just do whatever mental work, you know. And the thing is, every time we would have an interaction, I would always have something that I would be going to learn. You know what I mean? I remember one time we were having a conversation and I was just like thinking to myself, or even, I don't even recall if I was saying it out loud, but I was just like, just gonna disappear anyway. Like, right? Like, learned that day, I ended up, you know, realizing I was like laying on the couch and I realized, oh my God, I still have like some wounds, some childhood wounds that I need to heal. So it's like every time, what you will really recognize within this type of situation is that there's always something that you can be working on, always something that you can be healing. There's always something that you can find. And sometimes there's these things are triggering you, and sometimes they're not. What I have noticed though about myself is that over the times and over the years, you know, I no longer fight it. Like if I figure out something or I discover that I need that I've been triggered by something with this within relation to this whole thing or this dynamic, I immediately go to work. I immediately go to work. I immediately go to healing. I immediately going to find out information, meditate about it, whatever I need to do, because I realize it's more empowering to me, first off, to heal myself through whatever the hell is going on. And I also noticed that it's like every time I'm doing some level of healing, it also releases me a little more from the intensity of the energy. So I'm about to get this homework done, bitch. I'm about to be top of the class. Wait. I'm about to be top of the class, okay? And the thing about it too is just like, you know, you only have control over yourself and what you do. You don't have control over them and what they do, even if you guys can feel each other's energy, all that shit. Fine, cute. But you have control over yourself and what you do. And it's almost as though you get like, I feel I've noticed like I've noticed rewards from my elevation and from my really taking this seriously, as opposed to like, because like I said, you know, a lot of times it's romanticized. It's like, oh, the twin flame journey, it's like this is some romantic thing. Bitch, this shit is work. I don't know what the hell y'all talk about. This is not what that is. This is not that. You know what I mean? And it could be. I'm not saying that there's nothing romantic about it and that there couldn't be. It absolutely could be, but the reality is there are a lot of there's a lot of processes that you have to go through to heal yourself. It's intensive. It's not no fucking, you know, walk in the goddamn park, honey. There's work to be done here. And so, but I have also noticed that like spiritual gifts are, you know, I've felt like gifted with spiritual gifts whenever I like complete a new task, or like it's almost like a task or something, like a checklist and shit like that. Right? But like I've also noticed that whenever I do heal something new, that I see a spiritual elevation within myself. So that's the beauty of it. It's like it's because like I said, you know, a lot of people just like to romanticize the whole journey and like, oh, it's this romantic thing. And I'm not saying that there's not romantic parts of it, but it's not about that. Like it's really about you elevating. It's really about you improving who you are, getting to becoming a better person. And as you begin that journey and you really work at who you are, you know, from what I've done, I have noticed the intensity levels going down, which is good for me, because at the times that they were so intense, it was really a problem for me. It was like, this is ridiculous. I can't even think straight. Like, it was crazy. I was like, this is not gonna work for me. So, but you know, there are parts of this process that you have to not have to, because you don't have to, right? You don't have to decide I'm going to heal this little thing here. You don't have to decide, oh, I was triggered by that thing. Let me discern, let me decide why I was triggered, why that bothered me. What about that is causing me to feel this way? You know, you don't have to do that. You don't really have to do the twin flame journey if you don't want to. You could run away from it, but what I noticed is that, based upon what I can see, is that it doesn't serve you to not. It doesn't serve you to not do the work. Exactly the opposite, actually. So, you know, I'm doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? What I have, I feel like as I've gotten further, one of the things that I've really learned how to do is really, but this is the thing that I've been working on for quite a while now. It's about balancing out my energy and kind of like keeping that gaining that understanding of how to like raise my vibrations, lower my vibrations, like how to kind of teeter my own like chi. Yeah, that's perfect. My chi, right? This is something that you can learn through like certain martial arts, but I've been learning it in a different way. But there are many lessons that have come about for me for that have been triggered within this situation that have shown me, you know, because it's like you think you're healed. It's like, oh, I'm healed, I'm fine. And then you realize, nah, bitch, you ain't ready. You ain't done yet. It's more. It's some more in there, right? But to me, through this process, I have had several things, especially my mom, my dad, relationship with my mom, relationship with my dad, family dynamics, understanding about curses in the family, healing some of those curses, or healing those curses rather, recognizing, you know, spirituality within the family, who has the spiritual gifts, who has what spiritual gifts. Like throughout this journey, I have grown so much that all of those things have been handled within this journey. And these are things that it's because it's a catalyst to me saying, damn, I feel like I want to work on that, right? And because there was a period of time before that where it just wasn't, it was just like going about life and going with life, right? But when you have, it's because like sometimes literally we would just sit down, have a quick bop conversation. Like I'm talking like quick conversations. And before you know it, I got some shit I got to do. Like, let me holler at you next time. Like I got to go do this stuff over here. And it's me realizing like, maybe I wasn't triggered in the conversation, but maybe, well, I guess it's triggered, but maybe in this 5-minute conversation, 10-minute, 20-minute conversation, I'm like, this person don't even say nothing. Like they not even saying nothing, but there's things that I can recognize that I want to look at in my life. You know what I mean? It's like just by having, just chilling, you know, shooting the shit real quick. And I'm like, damn, there's some things I want to go look at. You know what I mean? There's some things over here I need to go kind of take a look at. And then I go and I heal this stuff or heal that stuff. You know, throughout this time period, I've healed my connection with my mom, my dad. Like I said, I've discovered magical abilities and abilities of people in the family. You know what I mean? Like spiritual abilities that people in the family have. I've identified multiple curses, and healed those curses. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that I've been doing throughout this journey. And I can't speak for, you know, him. I don't know what he's doing with his life. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What I know is what I've done. And I know that I have been doing a lot of work, you know. So, you know, as it relates to this journey, that's why I say that, you know, it's cute to romanticize everything, but also there's a lot of work that is being done in these connections. Another thing that I've also been recognizing as well is the collective. So my work hasn't just been with myself and with my family. My work has also been with the collective. With the collective, we have these conversations, and maybe you guys aren't all picking up on everything, but enough of you guys are picking up on enough of the things that you guys are also, you know, going off into the world and spreading the information, you know? And so now it's like, as a collective, we are seeing growth more than just me and you. There's growth throughout the whole collective, even if it's slow as hell. Like even if it's slow, there's still growth throughout the collective. But like if I hadn't been either triggered or aware of this connection, and then had this spark in myself to just follow that calling or that purpose, I wouldn't be here sharing these messages. And it doesn't matter if it's 2 people or 100 people. It doesn't fucking matter, because there can always be one person who's got 1 million followers over there, and then they're gonna go share with their 1 million followers. So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, even if it looks small, it is big, it's massive. And this is the work that has been being done, you know what I mean, through this journey. And it may not look like a lot, you may not think it's a lot, but it is though. You know what I mean? couple years back, we were all on a lower timeline. You know what I mean? We were all on a lower vibrational timeline. Now we got folks talking about vibrations. Now we got folks knowing the power of the tongue. Now we got people knowing the power of the mind, the power of the thoughts, the power of the feelings. That's major, because what ends up happening is once people start really recognizing and seeing how this works, it becomes very important for you to work at it. And it's now not about, oh, the racist system that it's no longer about the racist system that is systemically trying to keep us down. Now it's about, okay, how do I need to speak? How do I need to think? How do I need to feel in order to dismantle this motherfucker? You know what I mean? And it may take time. It's going to take a while, but it's working. This shit is on, okay? This shit is on. It's fucking working. And so, you know, like I said, I really don't know what, you know, my twin does on a daily basis, on a regular basis. I don't know. And I don't really bother myself with that at all, because I don't like, it's just like so many things that I have to do, or there's like so many things that I need to be doing on a regular basis that's just not something I bother myself with. And it's not this whole thing where it's just like all about the romance of it all, because that's not what I've been doing. What I've been doing is doing the work. You know what I mean? I've been talking to the collective. I've been over here like healing myself. I've been like healing my relationships with my mom. I've been like, you know, recognizing something that the collective needs to see and calling it out. You know what I mean? Like hearing some of the things that the collective's talking about and being like, that's a bullshit. We need to address that. Like, you know what I mean? And now we have more people who are also doing that work too. If you guys haven't heard of what's that? The eggs and grits. Is that the grits and eggs podcast? Like I love him, because I think that he's really speaking sense. And sometimes you need to hear it from a masculine energy. Sometimes a man needs to say these things. And the way that he's bringing things out is we talk about the same type of stuff. We speak in the same type of way. We believe in the same types of stuff. You know what I mean? But he's out there and he's speaking and he's doing what he has to do. And so, shit, I don't even know. Did I give enough information? Hey, Mahogany. Hey, Monsi. So, you know, it's just really like, one of the things that I have noticed is that it is very true that, so some of the things that are very true about a twin flame journey is that there are going to be energies that do not want to see those two together. Period. That is true. That's true as hell. Okay. But there's also a dynamic of, there's multiple different dynamics on how things can work out. Now, I'm assuming they always say that the feminine is like, usually she is the first to like, I guess, start the journey or whatever, or start doing shit on the journey or whatever. But then they say that the masculine should follow or start doing stuff, and then eventually he takes the lead, and then, you know, it becomes that. But I think that there is a little bit of so this channel is, as it relates to that specific journey specifically, it's a little bit of a disaster, because what I've noticed is that, so over time, karmic energies come into these readings, and then they come into these videos, right? And then they have influenced the energy in the past. And sometimes the karmic energy would come in and influence the energy, but it wouldn't just last for that video. It would last for like multiple videos or like multiple time periods. So I would be in karmic energy sometimes creating videos. So it's just shit like that. It's like all sorts of shit that you're actually dealing with on an energetic basis, or even on a magical scale or spiritual scale, that you're literally dealing with, trying to work through and operate through this shit while also having your own work to do within your own life, your own day-to-day, your own heart, mind, body, soul to work through, right? So it becomes a lot sometimes, and that's why I can see why it makes sense if people give up, or if they, you know, decide that they don't want to move forward on a journey or whatever, which I kind of, over the last little while, I think it was about within the last year, I feel like I had kind of come to that decision for myself. Like, this is some bullshit. Like, ain't nobody got time for this. Like, because it could be because of a maturity thing, you know what I mean? As far as like, this can't be the truth. Like, oh, I'm just gonna say that, you know, I understood, you know what I mean? It's just some shit that just be going down and just be like, this don't make no damn sense. So, you know, I'm not gonna get too into the details, but there have been some things that have occurred that have caused me to feel at some point that I was like, this is just bullshit. Like, I don't but I also recognize that, you know, because for a little while I was really in that energy, like, fuck this shit, right? But then recently I started to feel like, well, you know what? There's still things that I need to do. Like, there's still things that I can do to, like I said, because ultimately it's not just about this whole romantic thing. It's also about the collective. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't get. A lot of people who's not on the journey, they don't get that because they don't see that part of it. They only see the romantic part of it, right? So outside entities and outside parties, they focus more on the romantic part of it, and they don't really focus on the work of it all. So, you know, for me, I got shit to do, basically. I got shit that I was called here to do. You know what I mean? And I was doing a pretty damn good job at it. So I think I think I'm pretty cool with that. But I've also gotten to a point now where I've reached if not full union within myself, I've definitely reached a space of union within myself where I am able to definitely fully operate in my own like space and realm without I will say, like, energetically I'm not like hindered or heavily impacted anymore like I was, or as consistently as I was, because I was consistently impacted and hindered by the energy for a long time. But eventually I did kind of come to a place where, and I believe that has to do with me having learned to like raise my vibrations and stuff like that. I think that has a lot to do with it. Um, but yeah, I'm not like, it's not a, yeah, like, I got work to do. Like, I have, you know, work to do within the community. I have work to do within my family. I have all sorts of things that keep me busy on a regular basis, especially energetically. And sometimes the work that I'm doing is while I'm sleeping. You know, sometimes I'm dreaming or fixing some things in the astral realm, or you know what I mean. It's interesting because it's like everything that I could be talking about, or like the things that I may have been experiencing, you know, it could easily be written off as crazy. It can easily be written off as, you know, loony. All this type of stuff could really be. But this is the component that we've been missing for quite a while, you know, as a collective. We have been missing this component, and this is why it may be a thing that it could be so intense because there's so much work to do. Like, you know, there's so much to do, you know, there's no time to waste. So, but the thing about it though is that's just like, I just can't sit here and think that it's just all laid on the shoulders of the feminine energy. So I feel that maybe, I don't know, like, you know, we talked previously about like soul jump-ins and stuff like that. And obviously, so we talked about soul jump-ins in the past where people, you know, it's like a soul jumps into a body, or a soul jumps into the thing. So I was wondering just now, kind of like as I was talking about it, is it possible for like another masculine to like take that spot of that other masculine who's not really doing the work, or who just doesn't, you know, intend to go that route? It made me think about that. So I'm kind of wondering about that. I think I might just kind of meditate on that tomorrow, or today rather. Probably tomorrow, actually. So I might meditate on that to see how that even goes, but it's not really about the romance of it all really for me right now. It's just more so about kind of gaining understanding and kind of learning more about the dynamic, or how I feel about it. I think for a very long time, I think I was really trying to just, I was trying to figure out how I felt about it all. You know what I mean? I think for a really long time, I was like, how do I really feel about this? You know, I don't think I even came to that conclusion yet. I think I'm still trying to figure that out. Because it's, like I said, it's very intense. In the beginning, it was so intense, I could like not even focus. Like sometimes I was just like, I'm going to sleep. Like I can't do anything but go to sleep. I only thing I can do to get rid of this intensity is just go to sleep. So I would just go to sleep sometimes, in the middle of the day, smack dab in the middle of the day. And I'm not doing that now. Like that's not needed right now. But um, I do sometimes feel karmic pulls. And this is something, so first off, if you are on a journey, first off, you got to know about, what's her name? What? Yeah, girl. You got to know about Twin Intuitive 717. She really breaks it down via tarot very well. The journey. She breaks down the journey very well throughout with tarot. And I never was able to get to the point to actually breaking down the journey on a consistent basis with tarot like that. She does a really good job of doing that. And so she even, for a long time, like the things that she was talking about, that was where shit was going on in my journey. So it was like neck and neck, like very much for a good while. But you know, from time to time there is like a karmic pull on the connection where they are either sending evil eye or like negative energy towards the connection or towards the feminine or the masculine, doesn't really matter, just both, just getting it from both ends. And that I was feeling a lot throughout the last multiple years. You know, mostly what I would be feeling would be that karmic pull, and that like the intense, not that wasn't the intense part, that was more just, it was very tiring because it's like energetically I'm like fighting this battle or trying to like cancel out the hexes or whatever that are being sent your way, negative words or evil eye or whatever that's being sent your way. So a lot of the work that I've been doing, as it relates to this journey lately, have been like energetic, or not lately, I would just say for a while, where it was energetic work. Now, like I said, over the last year-ish, or I don't even think it's been a full year. I don't even think it's been a year. I think it's, yeah, I don't think it's been a full year, but over the last little bit, I might have had like one or two times where I felt like a really heavy karmic pull, but most of it was due to that thing that was out there, whatever was out there. I knew that that thing was bringing chaos, right? That's what it was doing, and I knew that it was doing that. Now the issue with that is, in this is something that bothers me. I spoke about this the other day or yesterday, and to me, it's like, look, I can tell you what is going on. You can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink, basically, right? So I can tell you what's going on, but you still have to control yourself. Like you have to control your behavior. You still have to recognize it also, and also control your behavior. So it's like trying to, knowing what's going on and then trying to also inform others and guide others on how to respond and how to, you know, fight off things or, you know, respond to the energy. It's just frustrating, honestly. It's just annoying and it's frustrating as hell. That's what it really is. It's annoying as hell and it's frustrating as hell. And then there's times when that could be happening with, you know, like your soulmate partner and your twin flame partner at the same time. And it's just like, sometimes you just sit here and you just like gathering it all, looking at both of them like, you just really just, both y'all could just go to hell, right? Because, you know, those things do impact your mood. They impact how you feel. They impact what you're experiencing on a day-to-day basis, you know? But that's what the intention is, you know? That's what the intention is as it relates to like like somebody who's a karmic with negative intentions, you know what I'm saying? A negative intention karmic is going to not give a shit. You know what I mean? That's all they want. They want they want a problem here between the two of the between the two twins, and they want a problem in any way that they can create a problem. That's what they're gonna do, and that's what they want to do, is create that problem. So, there's a lot that goes into this journey, and so the fact that most people really only want to know about the romantic part of it is really interesting, because it's not all that romantic, you know? It's really not all that romantic. It's like there's romance in it, but for real, it's not really that romantic. So I've come now to a place and to a space in my life where I am kind of ready to take like a new approach about life. You know what I mean? Step into life in a new space, in a new way. And that's what's important to me. Like, I feel like I've learned what I need to learn. You know what I mean? I've gathered information I need to gather. And I feel like I've had a lot of growth. I feel like I've had a lot of growth over the last couple of years. What else happened? Let me see what else happened. Yeah, I mean, I've had, over the last multiple years since my spiritual journey started, I've had so many varying different experiences. So many different things have occurred, and not all of them at all by a long shot are connected to this situation at all. Not at all. Many of them are my own individual events or things that have occurred, like time jumping, or like like time shifting timelines, like literally being in another timeline, time space continuum. Like, that literally happened to me, and that had nothing to do with the twin flame journey. That was just me. So I don't know. Are there any other questions? Let me see. Was there any other questions in relation to the journey that people may want or need to know? So yeah, I mean, I guess you can hypothetically, cut your twin off if you want to. You can hypothetically cut them off, but energetically, guys, in some way or another, may still be able to pick up on each other's energy, and that's because you're supposed to be able to pick up on each other's energy, like it's made that way. Right? Like, so I just know that, like, in the beginning, whenever my twin was going through like really tough times, like, I could feel it energetically, and so I would like be calling, like, you good? Are you alive? God damn it. You know what I mean? And I don't I don't feel the energy as much as I did before anymore, and I'm glad about that, because it, like I said, it was so intense that it was just like, this is too much. Like, I need space. I need space. I think we should all take some space. But now, it's more of a interestingly enough, yeah, he will come in my dreams sometimes, but it's not often. And yeah, no, he definitely will come in my dreams. And there have been experiences that have, some interesting experiences with his energy being around in some kind of way. But I don't let that, most times I don't let that like bother me anymore. Like I said, in the beginning, it was hard to miss. You know what I mean? It was difficult to miss the process or the intensity of the energy. But now I don't let it, like, it doesn't bother me anymore. I don't let it get to me like that anymore. But in the past I did. Like, in the past I was not able to, I wasn't able to keep it together, honestly. But I've got a good hold on it now, and I'm glad about that, because I still got shit I got to do, things I need to take care of. So I don't think I see any other questions. Let me see about this whole thing. One of the things that I do know is that, this is kind of a large number of collective people in the twin flame journey are kind of going through this experience now where the feminine is just not really really picking up on the masculine's energy. I've heard it explained where some of the masculines are feeling the intensity and some of the feminines are not anymore. It is like flip-flopped. I just personally, I just don't know that that's the case, you know, but yeah, I don't think I'm also even worried about it. Like, I'm just not worried about it like that either. So, like I said, if I feel like, oh, let me find if, you know, let me call him and see if he's good, I will call and say, hey, how you doing? You good? Everything right? Yeah. And then going about my business or whatever. But like on a regular daily basis, I'm not bothered about nothing. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, why you asking that? So let me see what else is there. So like, yeah. One time we got so mad at each other that I'm sure we both was like, you are going on the fucking fire. And that, like I said, that was within the last day, we were both like, you are done. So I'm okay with that because like I said, that event, what he did and said to me, I was like, you are done. And I'm sure, I don't even know why he was upset, honestly, because I didn't do nothing. So, but okay. But I was upset, like, nah, you got me fucked up. So, you know, that was the last time before I did like my final cord cutting and my last release, like fire release. And then since then, I hadn't really bothered about it until that damn thing got pulled out my yard, right? And so I hadn't bothered about thinking about him, none of that, until that damn thing got pulled out of my yard. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm like, that's strange, which I thought was very strange. So I'm just going to leave it there. I ain't going to talk about it that much. It don't make no sense. It ain't even that necessary. But anyway, I'm just trying to see if I have any questions here about the journey. I don't see any additional questions. Usually people want to know, how did you know? You know, ultimately, how you know is it's unmistakable. It is unmistakable. You can't mistake it. You know when, because you know. Like if you on this journey, you know. Ain't no, it's unmistakable. It's unmistakable. So that's how I know. So let's see here. Is there anything else that I can focus on? Like, I wouldn't say that I will say that because of the intensity, it is one of those things where it's just like, so you can pick up on this energy. You can pick up on this person's energy. You guys more than likely have the ability to communicate with each other telepathically or something like that, or some ESP or something. So you may very well be just fine, not, you know, just going off into life being by yourself. Hey, you, 1082. I was answering your question from the other day. And it turned into a long spiel. I don't think it needed to be this long, but you know, we're here. So, yeah. So you were asking about how did you know your twin was your twin? And I'm basically just saying, you know, it's unmistakable. You know, it's unmistakable. It's something you can't miss. And like I said, I've spoken about it in a previous video, but I kind of want to, I guess I don't want to really dive too deep into this because honestly, it's like I'm staying on the surface of it all because I really don't want to activate anything. I'm so sorry. That might have sounded bad, but it's really just that, okay? I'm just trying to keep it low key. You know what I mean? That's it. That's it and that's all. I'm just trying to keep it low key. I will say, there was some, yeah, that's crazy because like I forgot about some of the things that did occur like in the past. I remember being like I remember feeling like so much pain, like it was like, you know, like little, like some of the things that would occur, I would feel pain, like real hurt pain. And it didn't fucking make sense. One thing about this whole thing is a lot of shit don't make fucking sense. Okay, that's another thing about this motherfucker. A lot of this shit don't make no damn sense. And so, yeah, it didn't make no damn sense. Some of the shit that was being felt, man, it didn't make no damn sense. So, I'm glad I'm where I'm at. And that's all I got. So, any questions? Any questions? Is there anything that you need to know further maybe about the journey? Are there any specific questions I may be able to answer? Like I said, I do like to keep a level of privacy. A level of privacy about it all, but I know there's a lot of people out there who are interested to know about this process, and some of you guys might want to kind of confirm your own experiences as well, so I understand that. But for me, it's more than that. It's like it's a level of privacy, but it's also that I feel like I've gotten to a point now that it's not the center of my of my mind. So, I like to keep it that way. I like to keep it like that. So, Aqua, do you know that song by Gina and Martin, I'm Still Here? No. Let me find out. I did also, probably about 3-4 hours ago, feel a little bit of an energy shift. You said it's called what now? I'm Still Here. That's another thing too. So that's something that you may notice. Like you'll notice like song synchronicities. You'll notice seeing the name of this person. Yo, one time my fucking license plate showed up with this nigga's name, and I was like, you got me fucked up. Like Spirit, you also bullshit, right? But then also like the synchronicities would pick up during certain times. Like yeah, all of that stuff is real. Like all of that stuff is a real thing. But let me see. You said I'm still here. All that stuff is a real thing. I just think, there's so many feelings around me wanting to um I don't know. I think obviously there's a lot of things that I had to learn to shift into or shift away from, and there are a lot of things that I'm still needing to do. And yeah, I am not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Baby, ouch. I saw that. So yeah, I don't have that. But anyway, like song synchronicities would come up, and so that's something that you might notice if you're on a journey. Let me see what you said. Somebody got a crush on you? So I'm trying to find this song real quick, and then we'll go into if you feel like somebody has a crush on you. Of course somebody has a crush on you. What do you mean? It's that guy that, Tisha Campbell. Of course somebody has a crush on you. Okay, here we go. It's better not be a fucking synchronicity. Which one? That is John somebody. Okay, let's see. No, this is not that. Oh, I'm still here. Okay, let me hear it. Okay, it's a funny song. Good. So yes, but what's sad is some people think they are in a twin flame journey when they are just in a toxic relationship. I mean, that could be the case too, but like I said, a lot of people are speaking about things that they have no knowledge of. So a lot of people are speaking about shit that they don't know nothing about. So I can't say that, yeah, yeah, a lot of people don't know what they're talking about when they talk about that. That's why I usually tend to keep it to myself because, yeah, that could be true. You know what I mean? But usually it's unmistakable. And that's why, what I would say about that is I feel like if you are, like I said, it's unmistakable, right? Like some things are unmistakable, right? And so there are many people that can try to judge about what you may be experiencing, what you may not be experiencing, and uh usually those are karmic people, right? Like those are people who don't have no knowledge of any of these types of things going on. But I would say it's just a matter of watching how things go. Um, Usually based on my personal knowledge and my personal experience, you will know. There is no mistaking that. So, when people say stuff like, oh, usually it could be a toxic relationship, then I feel like you don't know what you're talking about. That's what I feel like, because it's unmistakable, and that's what I know. So that's where it's like you let people think what they want to think. You let people feel what they want to feel. You let people think what they want to think. But I know what I know, and nobody's going to tell me that I don't know what I know, right? So that's the thing. You either know it or you don't. It either is or it ain't. There is no, oh, toxic. There's none of that, because there are unmistakable things that occur that many people in the world will never experience, but they always want to challenge it, right? So I don't, if you feel how you want to feel, right? You feel and say what you want to feel and say. I know what I know, though. And so nobody can come to my face and tell me, oh, it's just this or that, because most likely I can tell you those people have never had this type of experience. Say what you want to say, right? Do what you want to do, say what you want to say, carry that on as much as you want to carry that on. But the truth is, you cannot mistake certain things, right? So that's what I know. That's what I know. So that doesn't bother me either too. Like, it's like, people may say those things or whatever, because I've been reading about those things for a long time, where people might say, oh, it's just this, or it's just that, or it's just this, or it's just that. Yeah, like I said, you just cannot mistake. Some things can't be mistaken, you know. That's like if you walk outside and you walk to the middle of the street, you get hit by a bus. You can't mistake getting hit by a bus, right? Like, you can't mistake that shit. Like, stop fucking around. It's clear as day. You know you got hit by a fucking bus. Well, maybe you don't know, but everybody else around you know you got hit by a fucking bus. You know. That analogy was probably crazy as hell, but to me, it's just like, yeah. Mm-mm. And that's the thing, that's what karmic energies are supposed to do. They're supposed to cause you to try to question what you know. I don't need anybody to tell me what I know. I can just move on about my life and live my life how I want to live it, right? Like, I don't have to share shit. You know what I mean? I know what I know. Yeah, that's it. I don't got to share a fuck thing. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Just keep saying mm-hmm, because you know, absolutely, but also usually the people that I see, um, that I've come into contact with, yeah, they all have some really interesting experience to describe how they know. And they're usually very interesting events or situations that have occurred. It's usually nothing normal. It ain't no normal shit. It ain't nothing, no, I met this guy and you know, he just kept looking at me and we just kept we kept running into it. None of that shit. That's normal. That's normal shit. It wasn't no normal shit. This be unmistakable shit. Like shit is unmistakable. You cannot mistake that thing. You cannot mistake that event that occurred, that thing that occurred. You cannot mistake that. So I understand, you know, there's a lot of people who don't truly understand because you've never had that type of event happen, right? If you never had that type of event occur, oh, there's a performance too. I don't know where the lyrics at. Ah, here we go. The lyrics. Mm. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, I mean, I feel like I've kind of covered whatever I need to cover here. Like I said, I'm not really interested in, um, for lack of better terms, open up old wounds, right? I'm not interested in doing that. So I won't say they're my wounds, but I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm cool without doing that. I don't need to do all that. Also, everybody benefits from this type of situation, by the way. Everybody benefits from someone stepping into their spiritual um, alignment. Everybody benefits from that. And if more people are able to do so, everybody will continue and everybody will benefit from that experience. And when I say everybody, I do mean everybody in the world. You know, it it triggers a lot of people. It bothers a lot of people because once again, everybody's so busy romanticizing everything. You know what I mean? Like everybody's trying to romanticize everything. And so that's why it's triggering and that's why it bothers some people. But in reality, it does help everyone. Because even if you know, there's very little change, there's still enough change that it will begin to impact a collective. And we have a whole collective environment of people who are now more free, more open, calling out more bullshit, speaking existences that look beautiful. You remember? Now I know that this is like totally seeming off topic, but if you've ever watched those videos of black boys, black boy joy, or like black boys frolicking, those are the most wonderful things, right? Like the most wonderful things, because even if it seems like it's putting people in their fairy element, right? It's a good thing. Like one of the things that we have failed to gather and pick up is the importance of your imagination, because that's where you create from. Yes, so you gotta see the frolicking. Frolicking niggas. Like, it's just so funny, but it's so realistic, because it's like, I think what I love about it is that they didn't do it in a fake way. You know what I mean? They did it in a real, like, I'm frolicking niggas, you know, like straight goofing, this straight goofy. But it's so representative of what I know about black men and black women. You know what I mean? It's what I know about black men and black women. I grew up with family, and you know what I mean? Like, we loved each other. We all did go into the park in the summer, doing cookouts, all this stuff, right? And so, like, what I know of black people and black families are these types of things. You know what I mean? The world has been showing all the rest of the world, you know what I mean? Like the music industry or whatever, maybe have been showing the rest of the world the crime part of black people, you know, the ghetto part of black people, but it doesn't show the joy of black people, and it doesn't show that resilience. And that is literally what we have been for a long time. And so to see those things coming where where grown men are like experiencing wonder, it's a wonderful thing. Like, because they need that. They need to be able to tap into their inner child sometimes. Not all the time. I mean, this is not a daily thing, right? Maybe this is not an all day thing, you know? This is just a once in a month or once in a year type of thing. But it's necessary, because we are all needing to be aware that we are still creating by default, regardless to whether or not we accept the conscious creation type of environment or not. We are still all creating. And we do need to know how to access our ability to release and to relieve and to just relax and to just enjoy life. And sometimes the pressures of life have you feeling, especially I can imagine a man. I can imagine a man having a difficulty like releasing the pressures of life for a little bit, and just having a difficulty of calculating, or not calculating, but having a difficulty of just letting go of the dynamic of having to be the man type of vibe. You know what I mean? Like, everybody needs a release and a relief and time to decompress from the stressors of life. And I mean, not to say anything else about any other group of men, but black men especially. And so internally, these journeys have wakened us up and allowed us to see through the personas, to see through the masks, to see what actually needs to be done. And we're not going to see it all at one time, obviously. It's going to take time. But what we are doing is little bit by little bit breaking down at the structure that has caused such toxicity, that has caused such imbalance within our communities. And that's what's important. We are finding a way, little bit by little bit, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, how to heal ourselves and each other. And it becomes a movement. And this ain't no movement that we're taking to the streets. Fuck all that. Like, y'all can have them streets. We working on healing. You know what I mean? We working on Black Boy Joy. You know what I mean? That shit is dope. That shit is beautiful, bro. Like, when I see it, I'm like, this is some beautiful shit to see. You know? It's funny as hell. Frolicking. It's so funny. But it's so needed, you know? And so I see that aspect of it. I see that this journey has opened me up to recognize areas that need to be addressed, that doesn't seem such an important topic, but it is. It is, because here's the thing: if people don't know how to relax, if people don't know how to take a time off and to decompress, if people don't know how to have a good time, you know, they're always in work mode, they're always in workhorse mode, which means that they're more prone to experience more frustration, more stress, you know. And you know, you got to see that. Like, you got to see that by not taking time for yourself, you're causing yourself more stress, and you're not allowing yourself to process life and That can be trauma. That can be traumatic as well.
Am I having a fever?
Let me find out. Maybe a little bit. What you got tests today or what? What's going on?
I think I would like the serve safe test today.
At what time?
I don't know. Less
What kind of test?
A serve safe for like culinary. I might be able to just retake it later though.
What's going on with your voice?
I'm like shivering.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go on and get you some ginger and get that vitamin C and get yourself some garlic too. I'll be in there to get you some soup and stuff like that in a minute. The feminine energy is potential that the reason why she picks up energy and information first is because she is the healer ultimately. That doesn't mean that men can't heal themselves. That doesn't mean that men don't have any ability to heal. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that the feminine energy, literally, that is her natural environment. Her natural environment is healing. Okay. And so, you know, as a collective, we are all connected and we pretend that we're not. Like, this society has disconnected us in so many ways, and we've forgotten the truth of who and what we are. That we are connected, that we are all connected. And so when you forget that, you begin to become, you know, desensitized. But that's why these types of things are occurring. That's why these types of connections are present, because they, within myself, it lets me know that, you know, you are connected, right? Because you feel something so intensely, you cannot deny it. You cannot deny it. It's unmistakable. Okay, it's unmistakable and it's unmissable. That lets me know, okay, now I gotta stop pretending or stop thinking or stop letting other you know, societies or other groups of people tell me that I'm not connected to my brother or my sister, or that I'm not connected to my neighbor or my upstairs neighbor or my down the street neighbor. Like, no, we connected. But these types of connections help us to see that, so that when we come out to speak about this stuff, we know what we talk about. It ain't no questioning nothing. I ain't questioning nothing. I know. Further, it also teaches you to be more in your personal power. Like I said, I know. I'm not questioning nothing. I don't question anything. There's nothing somebody else can come and tell me, oh, you're not, okay. I know what I know. So when you know, it's a different level than you think. When you know, it's a different level than I feel. When you know, it's a different level than maybe. You know, it's I know. There's no questions. And so, you know, that's what this whole process kind of really has shown me. It's the power of knowing, you know. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I think I'm done. I think I've, you know, broken down at least enough for the moment. I can always come back and, you know, create new videos in the future, but you know, I wanted to kind of get one little solid kind of thing going there. Okay. Oh, I see, because she can't sing. But can't she though? Like, I thought she could though. Like, I don't know. But anyway, you know, like thank you guys for tuning in. If you don't have any questions, I don't know if anybody had any other questions about this topic. You know, if you do, let me know and we'll get to that. Yeah, just be blessed, you know. Stay blessed. That's all I got. Oh, about the person who has a crush on you. Okay. Let's see. Do I got a deck around here? I don't think I have a deck in here. Nope. Let's go take a little quick walk here. Grab a little deck here. Oh, sheesh. So what do we want to know about the crush person? Do you go to a coffee shop every day or something? Or like is there like a specific coffee shop or like a specific restaurant that you go to like pick up bonbons or some shit every day? If you do, strongly picking up energy of something like that going on there. You're a coffee addict, okay. All right, what do we want to know? Bless you. I mean, you good? Oh, okay, you do it. Okay, so what's your question? Let me see what it was. It's, let's go back. Can I know about this person who has a crush on me? We have the Emperor here. The Emperor can bring in Aries energy. I feel like this person might be a little bit stern. Star card brings in Aquarius energy. So we got Aries and Aquarius energy. I feel like this person might have some sort of leadership position, or they may be about to step into a leadership role. I do think that this might be somebody who wishes to take you out on a date and spend time with you. This person does wish that you guys would be able to have like a 10 of cups as well. You might be friends with this person or know this person through a friend. What's this Nine of Swords here for, Spirit? Why is this Nine of Swords here? Chaos or conflict. This person may have had like a heated discussion with a Leo or a Capricorn, possibly a Sagittarius, but that's what I'm feeling. Leo, Capricorn. Yeah, I think this person might be feeling a little bit down, or recently have felt a little down about this conversation. I know you want to know a little bit more about this. Might be somebody that you had a debate with, a heated debate with. Maybe this person really likes you or something like that, or you like this, you really like them. This might be somebody you know already. Let's see, is this a new person or a person that's already known, Spirit? Oh, you're a Leo. Okay, well shit. There you go. King of Swords, the Tower card. So yeah, I mean, we've got energies presence. We have Aries, we have Aquarius twice, Scorpio, Leo, Capricorn present in the reading. Okay, two Aquarian type 5 energies here present. You may be shocked to know this person is, I'm not getting new energy on this person at all. So I'm not really getting that this is a new person. So you might know this person already. Yeah, you might already feel connected to this person, or like you guys communicate on a kind of intuitive level or something like that. All right, well, that's all I got for you. So this summer, oof, I don't have any direct plans planned already right now. Like I have, obviously, I'm making time to become a millionaire this summer, you know? I know. I know you guys are probably like, girl, I know, but still, that's what I'm making plans for. And then, you know, everything else will just fall in line. But I do, I don't have any direct plans, but I do have some things that I would like to do for sure. So those are the things that I will be kind of focused on getting through or getting done. You're welcome. So yeah, so that's the thing. So Angelus, you got to go to work? Leo. In the full card. Okay, well yeah, I think I'm done then. It's 7:30 a.m. Let me get myself on down this road somewhere. I don't know how my day is gonna go, so I don't really know when I will be back today or if I will be back today. I'm not so sure. I don't have any current. Oh, not till tonight. Okay, you work at 9. Okay, I get it. So you know, I don't have my full plan you know, laid out for the day, but I might go and take a little cat nap and then maybe come in with some messages a little later. I might end up doing some recorded videos. I don't know. I have no plans right now, except to go and doctor my kid real quick and make sure he's good. Hey, what's up? So I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hi. What's up?
Not much.
Thank you. Oh, I got something going on here. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Tune in. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, smash like button, subscribe to my channel, all that good stuff. You've been working day and night? Well, shit. It'd be like that sometimes, you know. It'd be like that sometimes. I feel it. I don't know what happened. I did not end up going to sleep last night. I was just laying there, and then I was, well, first off, it was midnight before I knew it was midnight. You know what I mean? I started working, doing a little something, and then time just flew by. I was just like, you know what? The energy shifted at like 3 or something, like 3 or 4. The energy shifted, and so I was like curious about that and thinking about. I went outside and walked around to see what the hell's going on out there. But you know, oh yeah, you got to do what you got to do. You know. Okay, guys. Thank you again. I will see you guys on my next video.